Hello and welcome everyone in the classroom of Pune Study Circle. Students, in this lecture, we are going to learn about planning process that is adopted by management for successful, effective and efficient attainment of their objectives or their goals. Even this process is adopted by every manager when he has to develop course of action that is to be followed by him. Then whatever alternatives he has developed for attainment of his objective, he conduct a validity analysis or a cost benefit analysis in order to choose the best one and nearest best one, so that he can keep some course of actions in the backup when conditions comes to be changed. Then how does he implement and how he ensure that the way he has selected, he is moving on at right pace and in right direction. This is the effort which is not made on the first day of planning period only or during the first month of planning period. This is the effort which keeps going on till the last minute of planning period. We are going to learn about this process, this effort, which is responsibility of the management as a whole and each and every manager. Plans are made by every managers, but they are approved by the top management. This is going to be one of the biggest disadvantages of planning, that it creates rigidity after or once they have got approval of top management. Minimum scope is given to the managers to introduce real-time situation changes using their own rationale, specifically talking about Indian context. But nowadays, some of the Indian companies have started learning from the practices that are being adopted by multinational companies. Instead of making long-term plan, they decide to make short-term plan, which are more dynamic, more adaptive, and having more possibility of success. So let me start without wasting your time. Planning, as we have discussed in the last lecture, planning means deciding in advance why we need to act together. That means very first we need to decide the aim which we need to hit. Thereafter, we need to decide what are the activities which are to be performed in order to attain our objectives or hit that goal. Then we have to decide location. We have to decide post at which different activities are going to be performed. We have to also decide timing of performing different activities, as well as the technology or methods that are to be used while executing any act or activity. So here, let me explain you or present a glimpse of planning process. As I have mentioned on the board, very first we have to determine objectives. Here, we are not determining only corporate objective, we have to determine objective or target for the smallest unit of action available or existent in our organization. That means very first we start to decide objectives about the post. Thereafter we decide objectives of team, then departments, then divisions, then units, and then the corporate objectives are being determined. Here, after determining objective, we have to make some basic assumptions. It means we have to consider internal capabilities and external possibilities or external factors that may have significant bearing on the success of our program. As I say, internal capabilities, that means availability of resources at our disposal, quantum of capital, kind of technology, production capacity we are having, raw material we are having, labor we are having, and what kind of intellectual power in the name of management we do have with us. When we are considering about external possibilities like government policy, be it the fiscal policy, be it the monetary policy, trade policy, or industrial policy. Then we have to also look into level of competition and the availability of resources or opportunities in our economy. These are the assumptions or basic factors which have significant bearing on attainment and success of our plan. So we have to make these assumptions. If these assumptions are not being followed or any of these assumptions is get violated, accountability of managers keep reducing. It means if we are making long-term planning, that will definitely fail, or it will have even more chances to get failed, considering the dynamic nature of business environment and the rigidity in planning process once they are approved. Second step is developing planning promises. As I have told you that we have to develop some assumptions which will make ensure that yes, if these conditions are to be fulfilled, plan will bring that result which has been claimed or committed by the developers of plan. If these conditions are getting changed, in that case we need to have alternative course of action, or we need to allow manager concerned to introduce real-time changes to give more chances of their plan to get success. The third step in the planning process is identifying alternative courses. Here we have to identify alternative courses for each set of activity, for each post, for each department, for each division, and for the organization as a whole, which are suitable and appropriate for attainment of that goal or reaching that destination. After identifying alternative courses of actions that can help us in attainment of our objectives, we have to conduct a cost-benefit analysis and feasibility analysis in order to select the best one under a particular circumstances or set of conditions, and under what circumstances that may be encountered by business organizations when we move ahead with our plan in the future. That means the nearest best possible alternatives are also kept in alternate option or second best options when we are encountered with different kind of internal and external changes in the futures. Futures are uncertain and we have to act in the uncertainties environment to be more certain about attainment of our results. So here we have to conduct cost benefit analysis, feasibility analysis, and reality checks so that we can ensure yes, the course of action that we are selecting, best course of action that is most suitable according to the assumptions being laid at the time of planning. Otherwise, if assumptions changes, we are also having backup plans. There may be 2, 3, 4, 5 backup plans for each set of activities, and managers are given authority. Yes, you can try your hands with these alternatives, but there are minimum possibilities that real-time changes they are allowed using their own conscience. This is going to be one of the major limitations of planning, that it reduces creativity of managers when they are capable and they are interested, willing to introduce those changes which will bring better result in the set of circumstances that they are facing. Next step is evaluation of alternative courses of action as we apply different techniques to conduct at what cost, which plan can give us what result. Then these plans are compared and best and other best or nearest best alternatives are considered. The best plan is going to get implemented. We implement it, and here planning does not end. After implementation, after letting every post, every department, every division and the top management, yes, these are our targets, we are having these courses of actions, and very first we are trying our hands with this or these best courses of actions for each activity and for the organization as a whole. If we are encountered with the dynamic environment or any of the external environment factors changes, we may try our hands with alternative course of action as well. Thereafter, the most important steps comes, that is follow-up. Follow-up means we have to remain vigilant. We have to make ourselves more active at the time when the plan is being implemented. It is moving towards our destinations. We have to check whether every plan or every course of actions is moving or taking us in that direction at the determined pace which was most suitable for us and which was determined in the beginning. If we find some divergence, some deviations, some variations in the methods, then here we need to try alternatives. Here we need to give scope to the managers that they can use their rationale, they can use their capabilities and devise even a real-time course of actions which is according to their knowledge will best meet our interest. If you want to be a successful enterprise, you will have to remove all the traditional limitations that were being encountered by management in developing countries. Like, it must not create rigidity. After even being approved by the top management, there should be some scope for real-time changes, and a backup in course of nearest best alternative should always be available or made available at the disposal of manager. It should not kill our creativity. There should be some scope and reward mechanism that if you can suggest us a more appropriate course of actions under changing circumstances, then definitely management will reward you. We know that huge costs are incurred, huge time span are spent on developing the plan, which is very scarce or which is very difficult for the small scale organizations to provide. That is why we have to spend our resources, we have to spend our time in such a fashion that even the smallest and the teeny organizations can take the help and advantage of management. This is all about our today's lecture. We learn about how planning is going to be important, how the planning are made, they are checked, they are implemented and followed up, how alternative courses are also allowed to get checked under changing circumstances. Planning is not going to be that process which is performed at a single point of time, rather it is a continuous process which keeps on going until we are met with our ends. In next lecture we will be discussing about types of plan, difference between different types of plan, and what kind of plans do have all the features in themselves so that we can consider them standing as well as single use plan. Students, if you really like our lecture, don't forget to subscribe our channel, share our videos and like our videos. That will keep motivating us and we will keep bringing you more knowledgeable content. Till we meet next time, stay safe, stay home, have a good time. Bye bye. See you very soon.